First, I want to say good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for coming out. Luckily, the rain didn't come down. My name is Tom Keys. I'm running for the State Senate in the Plymouth and Barnstable District. That's a seat currently held by my opponent, Julie Murray. I've come here to announce we have a legislative integrity plan. Now, I'm also an ethics and compliance officer, and so this goes into the core of what I do for a living. It's a 13-point plan to restore integrity to the public so that they understand that the legislature is doing their work in front of them. And I'm just going to briefly read off these 13 points. And with me, we have one of individuals that are also running for different seats on the legislature, both the Senate and the House. And we'd like to give them an opportunity to say some brief comments afterwards. Now, excuse the term, but the keys to good government, and of course my name is Tom Keys, excuse that. As first we want to do is we want to end the legislative exemption to the public records law. Right now, the legislature has exempted themselves, and that's very frustrating, especially for the members of the press, as well as the public, to understand what's going on. Number two, we want to prohibit the passage of controversial items during informal sessions. That's really important. Back in 2010, my opponent pushed through an event, what's called the Wind Siting Act. The Wind Siting Act was something that was a real big deal to site wind turbines, which would take some of the control out of the zoning and the control of the municipalities. It's a very big, controversial bill. Informal sessions is the sessions that happen after the formal session has ended, and they want to do some cleanup. They want to get through a lot of the more the mundane, a lot of the the cleanup of some of the paperwork and some of the wording. That's the wrong time to put through something that's controversial, and we want to pass it so that if anyone in the Senate has an objection to one of these bills, all they have to do is formally file it, and therefore it will not come up until we get back into formal session. Number three, we want to require the state auditor to conduct a comprehensive audit of the state legislature yearly. So that's very important. This is something that's come up for multiple years, and it still is not happening. Number four, stop the bundling of amendments. There are so many amendments that come before the floor. They bundle them together and you lose a lot of the detail. Let's stop the bundling and make sure that they're all debated openly. Number five, end the legislative exemption on the open meeting law. That's simply amazing that they've exempted themselves. As a former selectman, as a former delegate to the Assembly, as well as many other boards and committees, I've been subject to the open meeting law. Every board of selectmen, city council, zoning, no matter what the board or committee is, the open meeting law says that they must perform your work before you. Doesn't mean that the public has to participate, but it has to be done openly and transparent. The legislature has exempted themselves from the open meeting law. That needs to be reversed. Number six, end the legislative exemption to the fair procurement law. Again, as a former elected official locally and regionally, when you're putting together an initiative and it's an expensive item, you have to put it out to bid. The legislature is exempt, and they just get to pick. That needs to change. Number seven, require bills to be in print online for 72 hours prior to voting. That's not just important to those members that are in the Senate or in the legislature, but the public needs to see these. We need an opportunity. The press needs an opportunity to see these. Get the opportunity to take a look at what are the details. There's not enough time to look at these multiple 100-page legislation and be able to come in and make a cogent argument one way or the other. Number eight, subject the judiciary branch to the public records law for administrative records only. Now, we don't want to know about what's going on the judicial branch that has to do with people and families. We want to make sure that how they're spending their money is subject to the records law. Number nine, require the ethics committee to be bipartisan. Now, this is very important. The ethics committee right now, yes, there are some Republicans on there, but we need to have equal representation so that we make sure that the one-party state is not giving fair or unfair advantage to one person over the other. That will be a true watchdog to make sure everything's happening ethically. Number 10, prohibit legislative members from serving in leadership if they've been convicted or indicted. Currently, that's been happening. Someone has been indicted, yet still they're receiving a stipend for holding a leadership position in one of the committees. Obviously, I think that's just the wrong way to go. This is not the state's money, this is the public's money, and I'm sure the public does not want that to continue.
Shelley was allowed to stay on as...
Number 11, require the committee votes to be recorded and published online. Most of the work is done in subcommittee. It's not recorded. I'm sure the members of the press would like to see this also. Let's make sure that we have transparency on what, why, and how we're doing what we're doing. It's just not happening. Prohibit felons from collecting pensions while incarcerated. I really need to explain that one. Let's prohibit felons from collecting when they're incarcerated. And number 13, reform the public records law so that the governor's administration and state agencies have to comply and not avoid it. Now, in my 14 years of public service, it's been very frustrating. I hear it all the time from the press that whenever they're looking for certain information, they're stonewalled. They don't get it. If a member of the public wants certain information, it costs them, sometimes could be thousands of dollars to get the information printed. Or sometimes they'll claim certain opportunities or certain exemptions. Let's open this up so that the press and the public, the press represents the public, so that everything is transparent, everyone understands what's going on. Again, this is simply to bring back integrity to the legislative process. And I think that's critically important. That's going to be one of the hallmarks of the campaign. I want to thank you all for coming out, and I'd like to turn it over to all the different members here that are going to be running for their offices. Again, my name is Tom Keys. I'm running for the state senate. You can go to votekeys.com. All the information is all there. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. I just want to say also, I'm in my 9th year as a selectman in the town of Andover. If you look at the rules that 1,200 selectmen in the Commonwealth have to follow today, as far as posting meetings, and they actually made it a little more onerous last year. It's common sense. What Tom is proposing is common sense in every one of his positions. I'm proud to sign on to the list that Tom has put together. I think if anybody looks at this that's not in the legislature would say this is common sense. This must be passed. And I also challenge any of the incumbents to talk about which ones they don't support. So again, thank you, Tom.
Hi, I'm Sandy Martinez. I'm running for the Senate seat that is being vacated by Senator Susan Fargo. I too have been running on transparency and common sense solutions to the problems facing the Commonwealth. I have a website, sandymartinez.com. Anybody can go there and find out all they want to know about me. Thank you. I am Deputy Secretary.
Marty Lamb, I'm running for state rep in the Middlesex 8th District, and that's Holliston, Hopkinton, Southborough, and one precinct in Westborough. And as everyone's talking about common sense, the mere fact that we have to be here bringing up these issues is a complete shame of what's going on right here behind us. These aren't new ideas. These are all because of what they're doing here on Beacon Hill. The incumbent I'm running against has voted against proposals that we're talking about today. Taking away state taxpayer-funded pensions from convicted felons serving time in prison. You have to ask yourself, I have to ask myself, who are they protecting? Clearly not the taxpayers, clearly not the residents of Massachusetts. And again, as they say, common sense, we need to make some changes to bring the transparency, the ethics back to Beacon Hill where it belongs.
Hi, my name is Sarah Schultz, running for State Senate, 2nd Middlesex and Norfolk District against 4-term incumbent Karen Spilka. Now, only in Massachusetts is ethics a bipartisan issue. I encourage you to visit alexsarahschultz.com, learn more about my candidacy, and I'm very much for a new transparent Beacon Hill.
Hi, I'm Joe Mondry, Republican candidate for state rep 23rd Middlesex. I sign on to Tom Key's list. I appreciate his hard work. And what we really need is fiscal sanity in the state. Too much of our money is being wasted, and taxpayers are paying for it. Fiscal sanity. Thank you.
My name is Stephen Coulter. I'm running for state rep in Situate and Marshfield. And as taxpayers, we deserve to know how our elected officials are voting, how they vote in committees, and not have that all being kept as secret information where people have to go way out of their way and file special requests to be able to access that. We deserve to know how our representatives are voting so that we can become engaged and we can make sure that our representatives are actually representing our interest and making sure that they're spending our tax dollars wisely. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Mike Ben. I'm running for state rep in the 14th Middlesex District, and I'm running precisely because the folks on Beacon Hill have, up to this point, not been transparent and therefore not been accountable. Our elected officials need to be held accountable to the people, and I'm very proud to sign on to Tom, and I thank Tom for taking the lead.
My name is Jeff Bailey. I am the candidate for the Bristol and Norfolk State Senate seat, and I too would like to express my appreciation to Tom for all your hard work and leadership on this issue. I believe very firmly that a new day needs to come to this State House. It is time where we begin to open up the windows, let a little breath of fresh air come in, and let this Commonwealth know exactly what is going on underneath that dome, to know exactly what people are saying, what they're arguing for, so that they can make decisions that are informed and that are in the best interest of this Commonwealth. That's what we believe. We're all standing here together on that, and we look forward to the day when we'll all be working together under that dome. Thank you.
Let me just leave you really quickly with, for the past 14 years, I've had a private practice. I put together best practices for organizations. I'm also an ethics and compliance officer. This isn't just a theory for Beacon Hill or for government officials. All businesses that want to be effective in their communities, they put together corporate social responsibility programs, they put together ethics programs. This is not just going to benefit us as candidates running. This is going to benefit every incumbent once this gets enacted. The public needs to know that they're doing their work in front of them, and the reputation of those individuals that are leading this state can be improved. It's all about understanding what the public wants. This is their work, this is their house, let's do it in front of them. I want to thank you all for coming out, and have a good day.